Good morning and welcome to our Elementary National Honor Society induction. This is our second induction ceremony, and just for some background information, many people hear about Honor Society in senior high school, but the same organization that sponsors that group also sponsors an elementary and a middle school organization. So these students had to meet specific standards in order to be recognized today as an inductee. We do have an agenda for us today. Sorry about the music not playing when they came in, but we're going to move forward. At this time, we're going to ask Gary Mullins to come forward. We're going to have the national anthem. Now, boys and girls, it's almost impossible for everyone to stand up, so we're going to treat the national anthem today as more of an entertainment piece that show our respect by remaining seated. Gary, I think he shows the part of our IB program would be the learner profile, and that's a risk taker, right? To get up in front of everyone. Gary did a great job. Thank you so much. Gary is also a member of the Houston Boys Choir.
Board Member, District 1, Second Vice President, Mrs. Anna Eastman.
Hi, I just want to say that Miss Ellis invited me to speak at this last year and I had a conflict, and I don't think I really had any idea what I was missing. And this morning, as I was thinking about what I was going to say, I went on the website of the National Elementary Honor Society, and the big things that popped out at me was the service component. That's a big part of what they put on their website, and so the four values that the society represents are responsibility, service, scholarship, and leadership. And when I realized that this was such a select group of kids, I realized how hard that each of them had to work. And when we look at Harvard Elementary and get to come into the building and see the values, the ID values that are posted on the ceiling, I live right down the block, when I see all of the cars parked here on PTA nights, I know many of the parents who are so committed to this school being a success, and really the people that they're committed to are you guys and every single one of you. And when scholarship, I think, is an easy one. It takes hard work, it takes getting good grades. Some of you who are sitting up here may have come by those grades easily thus far, but you will get to a point where a lot of struggle is needed to maintain that. And I think that hard work and struggle and really accepting it and pushing through it is what will take you to another place to be successful. Service is something that you'll have the opportunity to live through or live out in large projects or organized projects where you bring something big to the community. But service also comes in those times where you're able to share your gifts or what it is that makes you special with your peers. It may come in a really simple one-on-one moment with someone else that nobody even notices, but it builds something bigger inside yourselves. Responsibility, taking care of yourself, turning in your work every day. I know I have 3 kids, and one of them, just getting the paper from the backpack to the teacher is a huge job. And so you all know that having that with you every day, prepared and done well, is so important and what has helped you get to the place that you are. And I think the last one, leadership, is more complicated. I know that when I was growing up, and even until really recently, leadership to me meant, I thought it meant being the person that stood at the front of the room and took charge and was always there organizing everything and being willing to take the ball and run with it. But in the work I've done as a trustee and getting to know a lot of really different people from different walks of life, leadership has taken on a whole new meaning. And I think most of all it means knowing ourselves and knowing our gifts and being willing to take risks like you did today when you got up and sang, and being willing to insert our gifts into the group of people that we're with at that time to help the group succeed as a whole. And sometimes it comes in the most unlikely ways. If everybody's working hard on something or worried or stressed out, being able to break the ice and add humor into it so that you have that energy to take the next step and complete it. It may mean that you had the idea that got the work of a group to move to another place. And it may mean that you're the one who is organized enough to get all the paperwork prepared. But at the end of the day, for me, leadership has come to mean that you know your gifts and you share them with other people. And then you also are willing to take risks and try the things that you may believe or fear that you can never do well. And sometimes you'll do them and surprise yourself and everyone else around you and win big. And sometimes you'll try and maybe not have great successes, but the ability to get back up and try again is what will take you far and what will help you bring your gifts to other people so that everyone has an opportunity for success. So I want to congratulate you all for your hard work. And also, it's such an honor for your peers to get to congratulate you on that work. I know there's lots of chances for competition in sports and other things for awards, but I think your scholarship and the hard work that you've done to be successful in school deserves the same kind of accolades and appreciation from your peers. So thank you guys, and to see your parents walk in with you, the pride that was there for them is something that is so special, and you may not ever understand until you're in their place, but you have got some great cheerleaders and supports in your very own homes, the people that get you here, and then all the teachers in this building and the other people that work to make you guys successful. Congratulations.
I want to thank Ms. Eastman, boys and girls. She is part of the HISD school board, so she votes on and makes recommendations for a lot of things that the schools do in HISD, and we want to thank her certainly for her support. And then to thank our parents today. It was great that you walked in today with your child. I know you're very proud. I see grandparents here and other visitors, and thank you all for joining us today.
And now, let's give a big welcome to KPRC Local 2 news anchor, Owen Conflenti.
great introduction. You got my name right. Most people. Well, I was asked to come here today to talk about some of the pillars of the National Elementary Honor Society. The one that stuck out to me, drop this just a bit, was responsibility. And I guess the first lesson is now, because I'm late. So I got to take responsibility for being late, don't I? I mean, I could blame the traffic and all the other slow, bad drivers that are out there, but I can't. I should have left earlier, and I should have checked for the best route here. So anyway, these 4 pillars: responsibility, service, leadership, and scholarship. As you're part of this program, you are going to learn about all of these principles. As you go through life, this is what's going to drive you towards success, not just in this school as you go through elementary, rather middle school, high school, all the way to college and adulthood. These principles will drive you to that success. Responsibility stood out to me the most, and I asked the question, what does responsibility mean? Anybody? Anybody?
It means to be responsible and do what you're supposed to do, and sometimes take the fall.
Take the fall. Very good. Admitting to your mistakes. Well put. You know, he's right. It means choosing between right and wrong. Many times standing up for what you believe. Honesty. Being truthful with your friends and with your family members, of course. But most importantly, being honest to yourselves. There's a lot of responsibility in what I do. Telling stories to you guys and your parents and the people of the city. And my goal each and every day is to tell the truth. And if we make a mistake, we have to apologize, correct it, and take responsibility. This is the obligation that I have to all of you in the entire city. So if I were to ask you guys, what are your main responsibilities? What are your responsibilities? Anybody raise a hand? What about you? What are some of your responsibilities? What do you feel responsible for? Take the medicine. You have to be responsible for yourself and take that each and every day. What about you? Your pets. Take responsibility for your part of your family. How about you? Feeding your dog. Okay, so what we're talking about here are chores in some respects, right? If you don't do your chores, maybe you get punished. No video games, no sleepovers. Think about your responsibility to your school and to your teachers. If you don't do your homework, that's bad news, right? So you have to take responsibility. It's up to you each and every day to get that homework done. Maybe it's a sport or an instrument that you're playing. It's up to you to practice. Your parents can drive you there all they want. They can tell you to practice. But if you don't take responsibility and focus for yourselves, you're not going to master it. You're not going to get there. Responsibility that goes beyond that. It goes beyond just you. It is responsibility to your family and to your friends, even to your community. So you take a family member, for example. Mom's cleaning up the kitchen. You've had a beautiful dinner. It's delicious. Dad's cleaning up the kitchen. And you're looking around, and they haven't asked you to do anything, but you know they're working hard. So you take responsibility. You step up, and you clear off the table or do something nice. That is taking responsibility. Another example here with your friends, let's just say. Somebody's getting bullied. We've heard a lot about that. Many times it's hard for a child to stand up, find that strength, and take responsibility. But that's where these principles come in. There was a story I was told this morning talking to a friend. I said, hey, I want to talk to some young kids about responsibility. And she told me this story about bullying. It was a long time ago. There were a group of kids, and one child punched another child, and he fell to the ground. So the little girl went home, and she said to her mom, Mommy, I was at school today, and I saw one child punch another one, and the kid fell to the ground. And the mom said, well, what did the child say to you when you helped him up after he was punched? And the answer was, I didn't. You see the point there? The person who takes responsibility, knows what they believe in, steps up, despite whatever's going on, to help out. Help that child up. Help that friend up. Give them strength and take responsibility. We talked about that for school, but how about your community, for example? Maybe there's a neighborhood cleanup project going on. You take responsibility for your neighborhood to make it look good. There was a friend of mine, I'll tell you another story. You guys love Christmas morning, you wake up, You got presents all over the place. Santa ate the cookies, and it's a fun morning with your family. Well, I have a dear friend who every Christmas, she goes with her parents, and they go to the local homeless shelter, and they serve food. And they've been doing this each and every year. They don't wake up and open presents. They wake up and go serve breakfast to those that are less fortunate. That's about taking responsibility for the people around you as well, your community, your friends, your family. But as you see, all of these principles go in together. Because when you think about the stories that I've told you, when you think about the examples, it's not just responsibility, but you see how service comes into play and leadership as well. It takes a real leader when all the children are standing around watching something happen. It takes a real leader, someone with responsibility, to step up and help, to speak out, to stand up for what they believe in. The bully example, the community example, service. It's very important. Service to your friends, your family, your community as well. So all of these principles, you're going to learn more about these. You're still young, and there's a lot to learn. But when you stay positive, you stick together, and you can teach each other. And one person sees another. You're setting a good example. You see another one step up, they show leadership, they show responsibility. You can learn from that. You give each other strength to step up and help. Now, you're all smart kids, I know, and I'm going to wish you the best of luck going forward. This is your time to take responsibility and understand that everything you do from here on out is going to prepare you for what's next in life, to become a responsible adult who has a beautiful family yourself someday. So I congratulate you kids on this program and being inducted, and good luck to you. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to thank all of our wonderful guest speakers for their time and words of wisdom today. The membership of the Harvard Elementary chapter of the National Elementary Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the qualities held in high esteem by the society. We will review these qualities for the candidates. We begin with scholarship. Scholarship. Scholarship means a commitment to learning. An NEHS member is willing to spend time reading and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of cultivating mind. We all must continue to learn even when formal education has ended, whether at the end of the school day, the school year, or our educational career, or education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life that leads to the highest success. It can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, and the light that illuminates the future. Members of the NEHS are challenged to continually expand their world through opportunities provided by scholarship. Service. In our day-to-day lives, many opportunities arise to perform service, helping others to do what they cannot do alone. This willingness to work for the benefit of those in need, without the expectation of reward, is the quality we seek in our members. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow for us all.
Responsibility. Responsibility is our commitment to do what we say when we are going to do it. It is our obligation for doing what is right when faced with the temptation of doing wrong. Responsibility is an expression of our concern for our family. We work in a responsible manner at school to achieve our academic goals. When playing sports, we are responsible to the team by always competing with our best effort and displaying good sportsmanship. Our responsibility to our community is displayed through acts of good citizenship.
Leadership. Our leadership as members of the National Elementary Honor Society should exert a positive influence on the school. A student leader takes the initiative in class and in school activities, striving to train and help others to reach their goals. The price of our leadership is sacrifice, a willingness to yield our personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. Leadership is needed in many aspects of our lives, so to lead is another important challenge to each of our members.
The candidates will rise and repeat the pledge. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Elementary Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands, and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, responsibility, service, and leadership. Now we're going to introduce the newest members. Neelan Du. Elizabeth Gerstacker. Ryan S. Julian Capel. Caroline McLellan. Emily Ramirez. Benjamin Smith. Lucy Stickney. Margaret May Winkler. And Matthias Wissinger. Please join me in congratulating all of the new members of our chapter of the National Elementary Honor Society. And now our principal for closing remarks.
They're signing in a book that becomes part of the chapter and remains. So, boys and girls, you can come back at some point and look at this in the future. Perhaps when many of you are inducted into the high school honor society. They're putting their name, they're signing their name and putting the date. Hopefully now you heard from our speakers today, and they talked about the 4 principles that are part of the National Honor Society. But I looked around the room, and I think many of you were thinking, I hear that every day with our International Baccalaureate program, correct? Many of those are the attitudes that we talk about with you every day. Many of those are part of the learner profile. So if you're exhibiting those things along with a great scholarship, then you too can attain membership in an organization like this. We're very proud of you. Again, I want to thank the parents for coming today, the grandparents and visitors. I want to invite you now, when we are finished today, we are going to go to the library with our inductees for a reception. But before we go today, we want to recognize our speakers again today. We have a little something for them. Gary and Margaret were members last year. You came in late, Owen, but this is our second year for this, and we had about 7 members, and the others moved on to middle school this year. So this is our second year for the induction. I want to thank both of you for taking time out of your busy schedules today. I was watching you as I ate my breakfast this morning, and I knew you were going to rush right over here. And Anna, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule too. It's a lot of work being a trustee, so thank you very much. again, congratulations to all of our inductees. At this time, we're going to ask that our inductees move down this way, and parents and guests, if you'd like to move down toward the library. We're going to have everyone else remain seated. Ms. Cole's going to take over, and she'll dismiss you in just a minute. Thank you all for coming and being a great audience today.